Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 19 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Posted a episode a couple of days ago, and we're back using the same team. This is the team that my friend Jake Major used to win the Collinsville Regional Championships a few weekends ago. Don't think he's publicly posted the team online yet, but as soon as he does, I will let you guys know in whatever video after he makes things public. Got a pretty good record with it so far, actually. I've played a bunch of games off screen just because I haven't played VGC 19 really much at all. I wanted to try it out myself. It's a really fun team. Like I mentioned in the last video, I haven't been too involved in VGC 19 as a whole. Like, this has actually been my least active season by far. Mainly just because I feel like, you know, as similar to a lot of you guys, I'm really just waiting for Sword and Shield now at this point. I think 2020 is going to be a crazy fun year for VGC. We got a super high rated opponent for today for the first game, so we'll see how that goes. Running a really cool team as well, so hopefully we can nab a win, but if not, I will not feel too bad losing to my opponent's team. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there. And once again, you know, I haven't been too active, but I do appreciate everyone that still watches the videos. Everyone always leaves really nice comments as well, and I tell you, I really mean it when I say I read it all, and it absolutely makes my day. So thank you guys. Even for those that may not be as interested in VGC right now, I appreciate those for watching. And yeah, as always, if you enjoy, please show support by leaving a like. Alright, first game today, we were up against Shedinja. So for those that don't know, Shedinja actually won a pretty major European special event, and it was on a team with Kyogre and Groudon. It's like the first team to actually do well with Kyogre and Groudon all season. I tried using it in like the one tournament I played in this season, but it was not very good. But you guys remember I used Kyogre and Groudon on my very first team for VGC 19. Man, I really don't know how to approach this. Okay, Coco for sure. The question is whether I want to bring Amoonguss or not. That's the main thing. It's just, I mean, it still walls things pretty well, I guess. But getting Coco Instant? Groudon Xern? I don't like bringing Volk here because of the Kyogre and the Tornadus. And I'm like inclined not to bring Amoonguss because there's the Coco, which protects everything once you get the terrain up. So I'm going to go with, yeah, the typical four. I wouldn't even call this the typical four. I guess you can use a lot of different options. But yeah, so Shedinja is really interesting because it gets access to Ally Switch, and obviously it's got a really incredible ability. That's where Snarl is really going to come in handy with this Incineroar, because I don't have to worry about Ally Switch as much. It's going to be Tornadus, Solgaleo. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. I'm trying to think, maybe the other approach that would have been better was to try to knock out Tornadus as quickly as possible, then bring in Amoonguss. But the thing is, it's hard to knock out Tornadus consistently unless I'm going like Incineroar, Xerneas. And obviously Solgaleo kind of puts a dent to that. I mean, turn one, I can go for like Fake Out Electro Web. Could Fake Out Volt Switch. Tornadus is not the problem here. It's the Solgaleo, plus the potential Kyogre that's waiting in the back. I like Electro Webbing here. It covers my options, and I think I will just go for a Fake Out. Tornadus, worst case, sets up Tailwind. Solgaleo protects, but Tornadus is the one protecting. Could be a double protect coming out here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Yeah, good play. I don't really know how I approach this. The other question is this like Fighting Z, Life Orb? You can just superpower my Instant right now, which is not great. So if I'm worried about a superpower, one kind of cool play I can make is switching Instant out and then Volt switching the Solgaleo to swap back in like Xerneas. But then I just get taunted. Yeah, Solgaleo is really annoying to deal with, actually. I think here my opponent probably should Tailwind, so Electro Webbing doesn't really accomplish much, but I don't even know if like a Wild Charge and Flare Blitz knocks out the Solgaleo. Maybe I just go for the knockout here onto Tornadus. I'm just gonna go for as much damage as possible this turn. Yeah, there's Tailwind. So yeah, Electro Webbing doesn't accomplish much. I guess if anything, it allows me to position myself where I don't actually knock out the Tornadus, so like Tornadus is kind of dead weight, but I still have to worry about it Rain Dancing on Kyogre coming out. Because Yeah. Alright, he is gonna superpower. Into Coco? Huh? I don't know if that was like a hard read. Oh, maybe my opponent was actually going for the read that I would make the Volt Switch play that I was talking about. That's an aggressive play read, that for sure. If we just get the knock, was that a crit? No. Wow. Okay, I did not expect that to play out that way. I think Life Orb Superpower probably just gets the knockout on Incineroar, so I think my opponent was anticipating me going for instant switching out and Volt switching. That's like the only way. Or just a misclick / timeout. Either way, we definitely take those. And it's the Shedinja making an appearance. Yeah, this game would be very different if that weren't the case, because then you bring in Kyogre, you knock out my Incineroar, but then the thing is I get to bring out Groudon, so it's not necessarily the worst case. Alright, we've got Kyogre, and it's actually really key for me to keep this Incineroar alive, because if not, then Shedinja actually might just blow through me. I'm inclined to just switch out into Groudon. And go for a Wild Charge. Yeah, it's probably the best play. I just need to stall out Tailwind right now. I could still very easily lose this game with Shedinja. I do have Rock Tomb on Groudon, which is like another way to hit the Shedinja super effective, which is good, but still pretty scary. Okay, so I think it's a double up on the Coco. Yeah, it's a good Shadow Sneak. Oh, that does a lot. Oh, that was a crit. Okay. And Water Spout's not going to be too fun to take here right now. It does just over half to the Groudon as well, which is not great for us here. Yeah, I should have anticipated Shadow Sneak. Well, I get to bring out Instant right now. I mean, what's stopping me from fake outing Kyogre and Rock Tombing the Shedinja? And then I Snarl to knock out the Shedinja, and then I Geomancy. Of course, you have to worry about Protect. Oh, this guy really could Ally Switch right now, too. You could just Ally Switch Water Spout. Oh my goodness. I'm worried enough about the Ally Switch where I think it's better actually to maybe just Snarl. Switch out into Xerneas. Yeah. That covers the Ally Switch option. Like, I can take a Water Spout in Sun, that's no problem. If you Protect, which is ideal, then I get the Snarl off against Shedinja, breaking its Sash. Yeah, Kyogre gets Protect, so that's the better case scenario for us, because we don't take any damage. Oh, he's just a double Protect. Okay. That's good. That's super good. It's the last turn of Tailwind. My opponent isn't Z-moved. We know Kyogre has Protect as well, so I'm worried about a Z-move dunking on Incineroar. So I'm actually contemplating swapping Incin out. Because the Shedinja shouldn't be able to touch Incineroar, so the goal is to knock out Kyogre. So I think I'm actually going to swap Incin out because it's slightly bulkier right now. And Geomancy. Best case is the Water Spout gets a low roll. I don't know if I've been playing this optimally, but I feel like this should be okay. Unless I get crit. Yeah, he's just going to Spout, that's fine. Okay, that does knock Groudon out, unfortunately, but we get the Geomancy up. So, yeah, it's just Shadow Claw, that's fine. No crit, please. Good. Okay. Yeah, I'd rather lose the Groudon here, because Incin is better against the Shedinja, and now I've Geomancied, so you're not going to do much damage with Water Spout. No Z-move. The Z-move was the main thing I was worried about as well. So Tailwind peters out, Terrain disappears, so Incin comes back out. I've got Fake Out. Sun is still up. Still have to worry about Ally Switch, though. So, I mean, the best way around it is just a Dazzling Gleam. God, I hate playing around Ally Switch. It's so painful. I don't think a Z-move in Sun knocks me out here anyway. So I think it's just going to go for Snarl and Gleam. Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak. Protect. Should be ally switch as the last move. I mean, I could also just protect Xerneas here, right? But I want to bait out a protect from his end. Yeah, I'm just going to Gleam Snarl here. Okay, he protects. So now I break the Sash, which is good. Actually, it's just a double protect. Yeah, that's fine. That's why I didn't want to protect, because now I have the option of protecting. I think Sunlight's fading out soon, though, which is the main concern. Is it this turn or next turn? Either way, this has been an interesting game. Okay, yeah, we still got Sunlight, which is good for us. I think the best play is just to Snarl Protect here. I'm still playing around the Z move that I don't know if it exists or not. I mean, does a Z move in Sun knock out Incineroar? I wouldn't think so. Question is whether I protect here or not. I kind of want to just attack. I just went for the Moonblast, but I feel like the ally switch is coming out. No ally switch. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing so carefully around it that I was going for the Dazzling Gleam, for example. Oh, he actually does survive. But I should survive this Origin Pulse. Okay, we're good. I guess Shedinja could still crit the Incin. Does Snarl connect? Okay. Yeah, because if I protect there, then it actually gets a little bit dicey where I take all this damage and the Sun goes away, so then I'm actually playing the ally switch mind game a little bit more, whereas like here I have 2 opportunities to attack. So I've gotten it down to its Sash now, and obviously Incin can finish it off. That was really close though, honestly. Yeah, I didn't think this matchup looked too great for me. I mean, you could still crit Incin, I think. No, okay. Yeah, that was a doozy. I guess, yeah, like, the main thing there was getting just 2 knockouts. Like, I wasn't expecting Flare Blitz just to knock out this Solgaleo. That was really shocking. But you can see how good the mixed Tapu Koko AV set can be there as well. Yeah, that was kind of weird because I was making all these switches, but I felt like those were still the correct plays to make. I don't know if it was good to sack Groudon the way I did. Like, I was pretty comfortable with an Incin Xerneas end game there. I just don't know if it was necessarily like the best, most optimal play. Yeah, the thing is, like, I'd love to bring Amoonguss, but it's just so scary when your opponent has Tornadus, which obviously can just taunt or Hurricane it. Tapu Koko, which can completely negate it, and the Shedinja as well. So we actually didn't end up seeing an ally switch at all, but just the threat of ally switch is enough to make you want to really think twice about all your plays. But yeah, I ended up going for the Moonblast there because I was like, okay, I clicked Dazzling Gleam last turn, so I feel like my opponent's not going to go for it. But maybe Dazzling Gleam was still the more optimal play, because if I Gleam and Snarl, like 2 Gleams should knock out that Kyogre. So yeah, I mean, then I'm at risk of getting crit by the Shedinja, I guess. But then I just click Dazzling Gleam and Snarl. So maybe it was better to go for the Dazzling Gleam, because if my opponent does go for the crazy call of ally switching there, which isn't even that crazy of a play, I guess, I eat the Origin Pulse. I do get the Snarl off. And then I guess it's whether my opponent ally switches like twice back to back and makes the correct call 2 times in a row. But yeah, ultimately, knocking out Solgaleo early on was super good for us because it meant that Xerneas could set up. Like, I really was not expecting to just get a double knockout because I won the Weather War instantly after turn 2, which I 100% was not expecting. But Pokemon choice-wise, yeah, it's tough to justify bringing Volcarona in against Tornadus Kyogre, although it's actually pretty good, obviously, against Shedinja and the Solgaleo, as we find our next opponent today. I feel like Ladder has been pretty dead more recently, but we've actually had some really solid games so far. We're actually pretty high up. I checked, and somehow I'm like 23, 22, and 5 right now, which is pretty interesting because I don't feel like I've played very much. But we take those. Hopefully I can wrap up some higher ranking wins for you guys. We have had some really fun games for sure, though, in Moon Series, even though it's not been too many. So that was really interesting. Opposing Xern 5 of the 6 Amons, just Kartana instead of Volk. I feel like I should be bringing Volk here, right? Like, it's got a pretty good matchup, obviously, against everything barred the Incin, and I do have to watch out for Z move, but from Koko, but that's pretty much it. I don't think I bring my Koko into this matchup. Pretty easy to just go Instant Volk, Groudon, Xern, I think, but like I always think twice. I am very seriously considering bringing the Amoonguss, especially if my opponent does not have Fire Punch. It's just like with Amoonguss, you shut down Xerneas so dang hard. Like even a Clear Smog changes everything, right? But it's probably better to go. I'm gonna lead Instant Volk, that's for sure. It's just whether, and I'm gonna bring Xerneas. I guess the question is, do I bring Groudon or Amoonguss? You're thinking, why would you not bring Groudon? Well, it doesn't have a fire type attack, so it's actually kind of weak here. But I suppose Precipice Blade still hits everything for neutral, so I'm gonna go with Groudon. But yeah, I mean, you really could make it, like, especially if I were playing a mirror match with this team has Rock Tomb Groudon instead of Fire Punch, and I would actually very seriously consider bringing Amoonguss in those scenarios. But we'll see how this goes. I love this team, though. It's such a well-built Xern team. And the techs like Vulcan, Coco have been super sick, too. Okay, it's going to be Insane Xern. So we'll see whose Fake Out is faster here. Regardless, I do get the opportunity to either Tailwind or Z-move the Xern immediately. Instant's faster than my opponent's end. So this is interesting, right? Because you could Fake Out my Volcarona, in which we just trade Fake Outs, or you could Fake Out my Instant. But if you Fake Out my Instant, I could just switch Instant out into Groudon and nuke the Xerneas with Fire Z-move immediately. The safer play, I think, turn 1 is... So the downside is, if my opponent actually fakes out the Instant and I don't switch it out, then I get the Tailwind up, but then my opponent gets the Geomancy up, which isn't too great for us. It's just like, there's no way my opponent fakes out the... Do you fake out the Instant? Like, that's just so risky. Kind of tempted to just Z-move immediately, actually. I'm actually just going to go straight for the Z-move. It probably doesn't knock out, but okay, he is going to go for the fake out. He does target the Instant. Yeah, I could have switched out into Groudon. I really... Like, could you imagine if I did that? I'd knock out the Xern, get the Groudon in a perfect position as well. But yeah, I don't regret that too much. I think like it is risky for me to go for that play because if my opponent fakes out Volk, then I get nothing off. So most of the times I'm going to play it safe here, right? So I still don't mind it. It's just like always like, man, could you imagine if I went for the super hard read? But yeah, we almost... Oh, he doesn't even Geomance, he just Moonblasts. Well, that's super good for us then. Okay. I'm definitely Tailwinding here. What do I want to do with Instant? Another Moonblast will knock me out. I mean, I could just Overheat. But I think I'd rather Tailwind here and U-turn out. Yeah, I want to get my Xerneas set up. Like, the fact I did all that damage and my opponent didn't Geomancy is really good for me. So I wasn't too worried about my opponent Geomancying there because I do all that damage anyway. If you Geomancy, then the next turn I can just go for Tailwind Flare Blitz. It's just getting that initial damage off, which is really key. So I'm going to lose Instant there, but that's fine. I obviously could have gone for the Overheat, but I'd rather get Tailwind up in this position right now. Especially because now I can just bring in Groudon. Or I could just set out my Xerneas. But I am risking a miss, which is pretty scary. My opponent should have Xerneas in the back. I don't know who the last... Or sorry, Groudon in the back. I don't know who the last one's going to be. It could be Amoonguss. I guess I should actually... The fear of Amoonguss is kind of scary. I'm going to bring out Xerneas and Overheat Geomancy. I think that's the best play here. But then I just hard lose to Amoonguss, right? But it's just like, would my opponent have really brought in Amoonguss into a matchup against a Volk, Groudon, and an Instant? Seems kind of unlikely. Yeah, I'm going to Geomancy Overheat. I feel like I could have played this a little bit better. Mainly because right now I'm playing with the assumption that Amoonguss isn't coming out. I do hit the Overheat. That is pretty scary though, because I do risk a miss. My opponent could also have Roar right now with Instant, and that could be pretty bad. But if you're roaring me, that means you're not knocking out the Volcarona. Alright, we'll see. If there's no Roar or Snarl, we are in a pretty good spot. Unless my opponent has a Mungus, which is definitely possible. For that reason, I think I should have conserved my fire types a little bit better. My computer's lagging a little bit right now, so apologies for the slight drop frames. Does he have Roar? No Roar. Okay, just a Flare Blitz. Into Volk, I'd presume, but no, it goes on a Xerneas. That's really good for us, because now even if you have a Mungus, I've got Volcarona to deal with it. Groudon comes out. Okay. Well, this is interesting. I'm not necessarily... leaning towards... I have to worry about Precipice Blades. Flare Blitz's damage is increased now. Could potentially just knock me out, depending on the roll. I think the best play is to protect Xern and just switch out into Groudon. Yeah, I feel like that's the safest play. It's just, the downside is my opponent actually reads this and like doubles up into the Volk slot. So it's kind of, I mean, it's slightly risky because this is like a semi-obvious play. But even if that happens, Groudon's bulky enough where I think I can survive. And Instant actually switches out, okay? It's Cortana is the last one. It could be problematic. Because I lost Instant so early on. I don't think I should have gave up Instant as quickly as I did. Okay, nice. That was good at least. So this next turn is really interesting. You could just go for another double protect. Because the Groudon's protect failed last turn. So I could either... I mean, the other question is I don't know what item the Cortana has. Because if I switch out into back out into my Volk, I have Rage Powder support to protect myself from the Cortana. This is pretty risky, but I'm reading that he's gonna want to protect both of his Mons, but we don't know the Cortana item, which is why this is kind of risky. Like, it could just have been Assault Vest. Okay, if Groudon doesn't protect her, I'm actually in a lot of trouble. Ah, nice play by my opponent. That's probably the game, actually. We do get a dodge, though, but I don't think that saves us. Volcarona was the one that needed to dodge that. That was a great play. Okay. Actually, we're not out of it yet. But this is a game that I feel like I should have won given the start, and I don't think I played very well. You can see why my opponent prioritized knocking out the Instant as quickly as he did. I mean, I think I could survive a Leaf Blade, right? So why not just Precipice Blades here and protect Xerneas? If I get crit on the Leaf Blade, though, then I lose. That was a good play by my opponent last turn. Nice play. Groudon goes for the protect. Well, that's fine. Ooh. Now that I should have read into. Actually, because of that, assuming it's Sash Cortana, I don't think I have an out. Or I had an out there. My only out here right now is to get a double. Oh, even a double won't get the knockout. Now if I get a double protect, Rock Tomb the Cortana, then Dazzling Gleam. That was yeah, I totally just like, I mean, even predicting the Tailwind, you're still making a read on whether he Tailwinds or goes for just a Smart Strike. Yeah, I did not play this too optimally in the late game. I think I have to go for the double and Rock Tomb the Cortana. If I get that, then we're actually still in a decent spot. But I have to go for it. Yeah, I mean, like you'd 100% target Xerneas right now. Do we get it? Oh, we do get it. Okay, that makes this more interesting. Okay, doesn't look like he had Smart Strike actually. Just Precipice Blading as well. Okay. If we hit the Rock Tomb, then we're still faster with Xern. Alright, please hit. Okay. This is a pretty crazy game. Now I click Dazzling Gleam for sure. That might have won it for us, but I'm not sure yet. Dazzling Gleam. Question is, do I just Precipice Blades? Do I Rock Tomb? How many turns of Tailwind are left? Still 2 turns. I like Gleam and Swords Dance here. You can see my opponent's Groudon isn't doing very much damage to mine. That last one did a lot, and that was a crit too. He's actually going to swap out into Instant. Okay. This is also me assuming I'm going to survive a Precipice Blades. My opponent also could be Z Groudon. I should have played with that possibility a little bit more in mind. Yeah, I think I should have Moonblasted because I think he's going to have the Z move here. Yo, he doesn't Z move. Okay. Well, if I survive these, then we win. Whew. Yeah, now I just double protect. I could have Precipice Bladed there, but I like the Swords Dance better because now everything's in Precipice Blade's KO range. So it's better to just double protect here, yeah. I lose this game if I lose Xerneas, so there's no reason to give it up. Because now Xerneas just clicks Dazzling Gleam and knocks out everything. It's not 100% won yet, though, I think. Because I don't know... I think Gleam should knock out Groudon. I mean, that first one obviously did over 50%. He actually makes the switch out into Cortana, okay. Yeah, it might have been better to attack there with my Groudon. Like, protect Xerneas, attack Groudon. But I opted for the double. Because, like, right now I can just click Precipice Blades and spam that and win. Okay, so now what do you do? I mean, that first Gleam obviously did over 50%. I'm just, like, worried about getting a low roll. But I think I just Gleam Precipice Blades. I mean, but the thing is, I feel like in order for my opponent to win, you have to knock out Xerneas. The only way you're knocking out Xerneas is with Cortana. I'm just gonna Gleam Precipice Blades. Yeah, Cortana protects. So it's like, my opponent's Groudon would need to be faster here as well as Gleam not getting the knockout. Okay, yeah, we're good. Now Instant comes out, you can fake out one of my two, but I just Gleam anyway. I think I just Gleam Precipice Blades anyway. Reason being, my opponent can go for the fake out Tailwind. I don't think Fake Out knocks out Xerneas from its range right now. Yeah, it shouldn't. So, I could double protect, but if I double protect, you could Fake Out Tailwind. So I think it's best to just Dazzling Gleam and Precipice Blades here. Yeah, I mean, I lose this on a miss. Well, even if I miss, no. So, yeah, you either get a knockout. Okay, yeah, I do survive. That was close, though. He is going to Leaf Blade the Xerneas. Okay. Yeah, actually, I just lose on a miss. So, I mean, I could have protected there, but Tailwind was a very big possibility. But we do hit the Precipice Blades. Is that enough to knock out, though? That first one did just under 50%. Oh my gosh. Okay, I feel like I could have played it a little bit better, but the thing is, so if the obvious play there is just to protect, but let's say I can't just protect one because my opponent reads that. Like if I protect Xerneas, you can just Leaf Blade Groudon if you make that really hard read. Oh, actually, maybe that is the best play. No, if you fake out the Groudon Tailwind, then I lose there. That's just that's like a really, really hard read to make. So I feel like the mind games were in my favor. Obviously, like without that double protect, I just lose the game because Cortana sweeps me. Although I guess he didn't have Smart Strike, but I think Leaf Blade knocks out my Xerneas from the range that it was at anyway, so I think we end up losing there. But that was like the only play I had to make there, right? I knew I had Rock Tomb, I knew that Xerneas was the main win condition, so that's why I went for it. I don't feel too great winning off that though, because I felt like I had a pretty early advantage knocking at, like doing so much damage to my opponent's Xerneas, and then setting up mine. But part of the issue was not having great answers against the Kartana later. And the thing with Volcarona is it was super good, but I had to use that overheat. So after that, I was kind of forced to switch out. My opponent made that really nice play of protecting the Kartana, but not protecting the Groudon that one turn. I think like going for a Dazzling Gleam there could have been better with my Xerneas, but in the end, we do get a win. Not the cleanest, and I think both games today I could have played a little bit better. Slash I was just like not really thinking things through as much as I should have, but we do end up getting another 2 wins. So yeah, it's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys as always for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right, peace.